Hey everyone, welcome back to Travel Talk with Grant and Marissa.
Episode 4.
Episode 4 already. Yeah, this has been flying by. It's been really fun. I've been enjoying enjoying our new weekly podcasts. So before we kick off in today's topic, how's your week been, Marissa?
It's kind of a miracle we're sitting here recording this right now.
Yeah, you've had a rough week.
I've had a rough week, so we're going to do a whole episode about all the health updates in the future. For those of you who are new, hi, I'm Marissa. My recent claim to fame is I had a seizure on a flight, and we are still in the process of doing testing and all that stuff, figuring out what, if anything, is going on in my brain. So last Friday, we're recording on a Thursday night. Last Friday, I had an MRI with contrast. So if you've never had an MRI before, what they do is they install a port in your arm for an IV, and then during the MRI, they inject what's called contrast into the port, and it just helps the image. It helps the image be more viewable, whatever they're looking for. I'm not a medical person, clearly. So they do like half the MRI without the contrast and half of it with. Anyways, you can have an allergic reaction to this, and I think that might be what I am currently experiencing. Because what y'all can't see is that I have a really gnarly rash on basically my entire body except for my face.
Yeah.
It's pretty gross. But starting Friday night I'm laughing because if I don't laugh, I'll cry. Starting Friday night through, it was at least Monday or Tuesday, I had a fever.
I think the fever broke Sunday evening. Right.
No, I had it on Monday after we got back from the hospital.
Oh, right. Okay. So, yeah. So spoiler alert, we went to the
Spoiler alert.
emergency room on Monday morning.
We went to the ER
Yeah.
because I had a fever all weekend, and then Sunday woke up with this rash that at first I thought was mosquito bites, and it just kind of kept getting worse.
Yeah.
And then by Monday morning, it was like my entire body. So we decided to go to the ER. They were like, well, you had this MRI, you're on new medication. You could also have an autoimmune disorder. We don't know, but you seem like you're not dying. So they sent me home.
Yeah.
So I'm fine. I'm just waiting for this rash to go away.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
Yeah.
And it's been itchy and uncomfortable, and I feel like my skin doesn't fit right.
But at least I feel like today, at least your spirits seemed higher. Like you haven't been as like out of it as I think you were a little earlier in the week.
Yeah, I was very out of it most of the week, and this is the first day I've kind of felt like myself again.
Yeah.
Which was really fun because in the middle of all this, I was attending like an on-site for work virtually, which is like 8 hours of like meetings while laying in bed.
Laying in bed, yeah. With a rash over your body.
Super good. It's been a good week. It's
well,
been great.
How about we distract ourselves from our week?
Let's do that.
And we've done like a variety of topics every week, and I think like I feel like our first one was a little more like kind of like controversial, like some of our hot takes and stuff, pet peeves. Then we've been a little more reserved the last couple of weeks. So I think it's time to be controversial again.
Because you love nothing more than being contrarian.
So we fully anticipate this opinion of today's podcast to be a little divisive.
We know we're in the minority on this one.
We are in the minority, but we want to talk about why we're in the minority on this and why so we want to essentially just like argue our case, right? About why.
Yeah.
So the topic today is why we aren't carry on people. Yeah. So like carry on only people, I guess, is the actual term here. So it's like I don't even know when this trend started.
I want to say it started within the last 5 to 7 years.
Yeah, the trend of sort of having this sort of like a badge of honor for being a carry-on only.
You will only travel, no matter where you're going, no matter how long your flight is, no matter if it's domestic, international, you are only bringing a carry-on at all costs.
And you tell everyone about it as well, right? It's like, and I think this is a thing especially for travel vloggers. A lot of travel vloggers are out there and they're like, we are carry-on only people.
Yeah.
Look how great we are because we're carry-on only people. Look how we like went to Europe for an entire month with one carry-on suitcase and 3 pairs of underwear. And I'm like, I don't understand why this is something to be proud of, but
I want to say something about this, and I think you're going to have to cut it.
well, don't say it then.
Carry-on only people are the vegans of the travel
It's true.
world.
They'll tell you. They'll
How
tell
do you
you.
know? They'll tell you.
They'll tell you. But so
That was mean. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
so-
apologize to travel only carriers and vegans.
and we'll preface this by saying it's entirely fine if you're carrying on when you're like a domestic travel, like in particular domestic travel. I understand that like having a check bag can be quite expensive now with a lot of
Yeah.
domestic US airlines.
Especially if you're going for like a weekend trip. Like when
Yeah.
we went to when we went to Epic Universe, we did carry-ons.
Yeah, I think for a short trip that is, you know, a long weekend or something, it's totally fine. And Marissa's laughing at the cat.
The cat is sitting under the desk that the camera's on staring at us.
So yeah, it's entirely fine. So this isn't that. We're almost exclusively international like travel. That's what we enjoy. That's what we do, and we always travel for about a week. So for us, traveling carry-on only is not practical. Like, so we have tried on several occasions because we've kind of been almost like just like felt like we were weird for not
Yeah.
doing it. Just like so many people talk about this, like. Carry on, there's so many like everyone has a carry on like little suitcase through the airport, and it's where we were kind of like, maybe we're doing this wrong, let's try it. And we tried to make this work for a couple of trips, and it
Yeah.
just wouldn't.
Specifically, we wanted to do it when we did our England-Wales road trip.
Mm.
We were like, oh, we'll pack carry-ons because that'll fit in the car better. We were anticipating a lot of these rooms were going to be up weird stairs,
Which they were.
completely were. And yeah, in that instance, having a carry-on would have been easier, but we just couldn't make it work.
We couldn't do it. Like I would literally put like a pair of not even boots, like a spare pair of sneakers.
Yeah.
In what is the largest carry-on like sized bag we have, which I think is just like sort of the max, you know, like the
Max
normal
you can
kind
get
of
away
size.
with.
Like some people push those boundaries, but in terms of the actual dimensions you're allowed to have on airlines, and I couldn't even get my sneakers in it, like in
No,
one
you
half.
couldn't.
They literally were sticking up above it, and it's just like, and then it was like sort of semi-cool on this trip too. So
Yeah.
we were like, we wouldn't have been able to take any large jackets with us because once again, that takes up an entire half of the suitcase.
Yeah.
We got about 5 minutes into trying to pack like this. We're so stressed and so defeated, we just gave up and we're like, no, this is
Yeah,
not
we're like,
gonna
this
work.
is not for us.
Yeah.
How do people do this?
Because we were gonna do it because like we have a video like a while back on the channel where we got like a suitcase to like review and try out.
Yeah.
So we were gonna try a couple of new suitcases and we're like, this just isn't
This
working.
is not for us. Yeah. And especially for that trip, like we knew the weather was going to be unpredictable, so we wanted a little bit of variety in the clothes
Right.
we were packing. And also, we knew we wanted more than one pair of shoes because we knew we were going to do some hiking.
Some hiking. So we wanted to be able to bring our hiking boots.
And if it was going to be rainy, we wanted an extra pair of shoes in case our shoes got wet.
Yeah, which we've had multiple trips now where we've been rained out, like on out in the middle of a city or something, have drenched shoes.
And having that second pair of shoes comes in.
Yeah, like
Clutch.
things like that. Like we always have a second pair of shoes now. Like
Oh, yeah.
whether like it might vary what that second pair is. Sometimes it's a pair of hiking boots. Sometimes it's just another
Flip-flops.
pair of sneakers. Sometimes it's flip flops or sandals
Yeah.
or something. Yeah, so I think we can kind of split this into the advantages of taking a checked bag and only having like a lighter backpack or something as your carry-on, but then also the disadvantages that I think some people don't think about when they decide to go carry-on only.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
So where do you want to start? Do you want to do advantages or disadvantages?
Let's start advantages.
Advantages? Okay. So we kind of started talking about this already. So
Yeah.
the main advantages, obviously, of taking a checked bag is you don't have to underpack. You can essentially overpack if you want to. But, and I think that this probably comes down to the practicality of having the things you need when you're traveling for
Yeah.
at least a week, right? I think having to restrict yourself to only having a few clothing items.
Yeah, that stresses me out.
Right. It's like I don't want to have to waste time like either like rinsing my clothes or like, in a bathtub or something in a hotel or going to a laundromat or something halfway through a
Yeah.
trip just to save having a few t-shirts and underwear in my bag.
Yeah.
Like,
I am absolutely that person where I am perpetually terrified. I think women will understand that this is the one time I'm gonna get graphic, but like I'm gonna get my period unexpectedly, so I bring like 14 pairs of underwear, like because you never know.
yeah. But even like as a guy, I probably bring more than the amount of days worth of underwear.
Yeah.
Because like I know personally, like I'll sometimes get like sweaty, or we might get like rained on or something,
Yeah.
and you want to go back to the hotel halfway through the
change.
day, have a shower, and change.
Yeah,
And
which-
we've often done this.
Like when we went to Japan, it was so hot out that we were changing probably like underwear and t-shirts at least once a day because we were just
Yeah.
soaked in sweat and it was pretty disgusting.
Yeah, we were going through like 2 outfits a day just because of how hot it was.
Yeah, and like if we had a carry-on, we would have had to constantly been like washing and waiting for t-shirts to dry, and like that would have been miserable.
Yeah.
And also like a lot of our trips lately, we've been going amongst multiple destinations, and so timing that with washing clothes would have been really tricky.
Right. And I think that's a good point too, is if you are traveling, like say you have travel days on your trip, so whether you're getting a train or you're getting another flight somewhere, often we'll find we kind of feel extra kind of like gross after doing those travel days. So whether it is the day we arrive and it's like half a day left, we're like, I want to get out of these like gross like airplane clothes.
Yeah.
Or we just spent like 6 hours on a train or something, and it's
change.
kind of like, oh, like we just feel gross and don't want to wear these same clothes that we've been in like half the day, right? Because we're probably like going out to dinner or something afterwards, and it's like I don't necessarily need to be fancy, but I just don't want to feel dirty.
I don't want to smell like an airport. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think that like the amount of clothing you have is, I think that having the peace of mind of extra stuff.
Yeah.
The next one I would bring up is like toiletries. You can't sort of have the toiletries you really want when you have to play by all the restrictions of size. Like you can probably get by and it's okay.
Yeah.
But like the main one I've thought of, you probably have other ones with like makeup and stuff, but like I know the main one I think of is sunscreen.
Oh yeah. In case you can't tell, we're quite pale people.
Dude, what? So yeah, we
wear sunscreen every single day when we travel. Every single day.
yeah, like unless we're like it's super cold and we're in winter or whatever and we're
No, I'd
bundled
still
up. We
wear it
still
when
put some on our face or
Yeah.
whatever. But if it is in particular, if it's summer or if we're going to like a beach or a cruise or something, we have no joke, I think taken 4 tubs, like 4 bottles of sunscreen on a trip before because we use so much of it.
We will bring, if we're going on a cruise, we bring 4 types of sunscreen, and that is not an exaggeration.
Yeah.
We have a problem.
But like that's something you couldn't bring, and also like I think having to. It might depend on where you're traveling and what the restrictions are, but a lot of places you have to have them, in a clear plastic bag and all that kind of stuff. And it's like having to then take all that stuff out at the airport.
Yeah.
And like possibly lose stuff, or like stuff might not be the right size, or things leak and then it's leaked over your entire suitcase.
Yeah.
Like everything it's not split because you put everything in one bag, right?
Yeah. For me, I have what I call my plain bag, which is a Ziploc bag that has like a lip gloss. I put in Laneige sleeping mask. I tend to wear that on a plane just to keep my face hydrated. So just some like little toiletry things I want in the plane, but my main toiletry kit is in my suitcase. And yes, all the makeup I bring with me, I have curated very carefully over time to be travel friendly. I have very specific things I keep in mind when I purchase makeup for travel, which I could probably do an entire episode on, but essentially I don't bring anything in a palette. So like any powder or eyeshadow in a palette, I just find the palettes break, and then you got to bring brushes, and it's like a whole thing. And so it's got to be in a cream or tube kind of consistency. But this allows me to bring all travel size of all my face stuff and all my makeup in my suitcase, and I think if we were doing carry-on, I'd be just so pressed for space, I would forgo a lot of that, and then I'd be sad because I still bring like 47 lip products with me.
The other side to this is because I have basically all my toiletries in my checked bag.
Yeah.
I have no liquids in my carry-on.
You don't. Yeah.
So I think I have, like, in terms of like toiletry things, I have a chapstick. I have a small like roll-on deodorant, so like a stick, like a hard stick deodorant, and I have like some pain meds and stuff, and then I have like those little, I think they're called wisps. I think they're called wisps.
They're wisps or swisps.
Yeah, something like that. They're a little, essentially just like a little toothbrush.
Disposable toothbrush.
That has a tiny incy bit of like a toothpastey kind of thing like in it, and when you like put it on your teeth, it sort of breaks a little bit and it brushes your teeth. And that's all I had. So like when we go through security now, like I don't have to get any of that stuff out of my bag. So I think that's like, yeah, just having to have all your toiletries in one, like in all that like travel size stuff is just kind of stressful.
Kind of annoying. Yeah. Kind of the other advantage we found is that this allows us to be pretty flexible and agile when we're, can you tell I work in tech? We're flexible, we're agile.
Agile.
It's just, my God.
Let's put a pin in it and circle back.
We'll circle back. I'm so sorry to everybody I just triggered. Woo! So when traveling, we like to be able to move quickly, and by checking our bags, then we just have our backpacks, which we're obsessed with. And this has definitely come in handy of times where we like have to sprint for short connections. Looking at you, Frankfurt Airport.
Yeah, and Iceland recently.
And so you just have your backpack and you sprint, and someone else can deal with your baggage. And if you have a carry-on, like that's another thing you have to keep track of. It's harder to sprint through an airport if you're lugging a suitcase behind you. But yeah, so just the flexibility of like once our bags are checked, we only have to worry about that backpack. It's easier to go into the bathroom and get stuff if you're don't have a suitcase with you. It just makes maneuvering through airports a lot easier than if you have a carry-on with you. And then you're not stressed getting onto the plane and like...
Yeah. You don't have to worry about...
Bled into the disadvantages.
Yeah, I think we're probably at that point now where we could talk about the disadvantages now, right? So yeah, let's talk about this one. I think at least in my opinion, and I think you share this opinion, the biggest disadvantage to being carry-on only is the stress of having like enough baggage space in the overhead bin. Yeah. And so the positive for us with this, if we don't have space in the bin above us, we can put our backpack under the chair in front of us. It's not great if you're on a long haul flight,
but we've done it and it's fine.
We've done it, especially on some connections. If it ends up being like, oh well, like there's no bin space, it's like we don't have to worry about it. At least we can have our bags with us and not worry about it. But yeah, so that disadvantage is pretty big in my opinion. Like, and I think that's what honestly fuels a lot of the stress and anger and it's stuff that a lot of travelers have. Is like, that's why, go back to our like pet peeves thing about, that's why there's so many gate lice, what we call the people that crowd around to board the plane early when it's not their boarding group, is because they're paranoid
that they're not going
to get their overhead bin space. And this is, we don't work, we literally just sit there and wait for our number and then just like stroll on the plane. And it's like, obviously this isn't the like travelers' fault. This is the airlines that have kind of caused this situation.
Yeah.
But removing that, and I think if half of the people traveled like we did, this wouldn't be an issue anymore.
And they used to, and then...
Yeah. And people are just abusing the rules, and you don't have...
nutty.
And then you don't have this issue of like, oh, they forced me to check my carry-on bag.
Yeah.
We've never had that because we have backpacks, so they can't do that for
Yeah.
the stuff we have in our bags can't be checked. Like I have camera equipment, lithium batteries, you have medication, and like these are things that have to be with us. So therefore it's like, you can't make us check this.
Yeah.
And so it's like at the end of the day, you're sort of checking the bag that you were so adamant about not having a checked bag to begin with, and yeah.
And I think some of it is fueled by, and feel free to correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think there's a lot of fear and anxiety that if you check your bag, your bag's gonna get lost. Which, knock on wood, we have never had that happen.
Yeah. So I did some research earlier, and I found,
I don't want to jinx it, but
I found some research earlier that it was, I'm not going to get the exact number right here, but feel free to fact check me. But I did some research online earlier, and apparently yearly, 0.6% of all checked baggage is somehow mishandled, is the word they use. So that includes lost, damaged, or like delayed or something, right? And then those that have been lost indefinitely, it's something like even lower, 0.5% of all travelers. So this is a massive misconception that your baggage is going to get lost when you check it. That's just a blatant lie.
Statistically, it's unlikely.
Statistically speaking, there is so much worse that could more likely happen to you when you're traveling.
I wonder if you're more likely to have a seizure on a plane or lose your luggage.
It's probably lose your luggage, I would say. I don't know. Depends your age.
1 in 8 people.
Actually, that statistic's higher than probably. Well, maybe not
on a plane, but
on a plane.
You're statistically more likely to have one seizure in your life than you are to lose your luggage.
So like, yeah.
I just scared everybody. Sorry.
But that statistic is so low that it's comical that the reason people give that they don't check a bag is they're paranoid about their luggage being lost. It's just not true.
It's just
bags don't
really
go missing like that. And I've talked about this before. I feel like bags going missing is sometimes user error as well on the traveler side.
Yeah.
They're either checking in too late, they're being rude to the check-in agents at the time.
Yeah.
They're tagging their bag wrong.
They're not taking the stickers or the old things off their bag.
The old barcode stickers. Yeah, that's a pet peeve of mine, not taking those off.
I had no idea.
So sometimes there's even user error, and I think it's just like, this is a non-issue in my opinion. And like I'm very passionate. This is the part that I'm kind of like, I would honestly rather lose my bag once in a blue moon than ruin our travels by being carry-on only. Because statistically speaking, this probably will, like, knock on wood, may not even happen to us. And I think the reason why I don't worry about it is because we do still have a carry-on, a backpack. All of my valuables are in that.
Yeah.
We do not have super expensive jewelry or clothing that we're actually that concerned about.
Yeah.
Yes, would it suck having to go buy some new stuff? Yeah, it's a bit of a nuisance when you're there.
It would be stressful, but
But I would rather make the most of every trip we take and have everything I want with me and need with me
99% of the time.
99.5% of the time.
Yeah.
Than hamstring myself on every trip.
Yeah.
Just in case that 0.5% hits me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I think it's just silly to worry that much about it. Right?
Yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah, it's just kind of why add all those layers of stress?
And I think especially when you think about the flexibility, it allows us to pack layers. It allows us to pack we mentioned sneakers and boots, multiple shoe options and room for souvenir shopping.
Right. Yeah, you can't do any of that.
The amount of crap we brought back from Japan.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, I think in particular too, unless you're traveling in summer and you don't need too many layers and stuff. But I think traveling in winter, I am impressed if you can figure out how to say you're traveling for a week in winter. if you're gonna have to bring like big coats, sweaters, like layers, right? That couldn't all fit in there. So if you are trying to do carry-on, you're probably one of these people that also has giant backpack and like a tote or a bit giant tote bag or something. And you're gonna have all this stuff, like your coat's gonna be, you're gonna have to carry your coat.
Yep.
Or wear it or whatever on the plane. And I personally feel like that creates a higher chance for you to lose things. Because you have so much stuff with you.
Oh, 100%. Especially if your name is Marissa.
Yeah, or you have like tote bags, or you've got like, you're carrying your beanie and your scarf and your jacket and things. You're gonna drop stuff, right? I don't mean you particularly. I mean
I feel
you,
personally attacked right now.
Everybody. But like, there's a high chance you're gonna lose stuff or drop things, or they're gonna get taken like from the overhead bin, or it's just like, it just feels like very you have to be so organized to do all this packing beforehand, and then it's gonna make your trip more disorganized because you're carrying so much things on you at all times.
Grant is stressed just like talking this out. Like, I can see you getting stressed.
Yeah, because it's like we've created like a packing system essentially.
Yeah, we have.
For the fact that like we don't have to worry about it, and it just means we don't have to like, we have everything we need and more, but it's not, we're by no means extravagant packers. Like our bags are never anywhere close to being the weight limit. We always have room in them for things, as you said. So it's just,
we just like the extra space in case we need it.
Right. And I think we should probably talk about the other disadvantages that carry-on only travelers talk about, and the time that's wasted waiting a baggage claim.
The 20 minutes it takes?
Yeah.
I think the most we've waited is maybe 45 minutes.
I do have to say, when I was by myself after you had your seizure, it felt like an hour, but I don't think it was.
It wasn't that
long. But like, there's never been a situation where I'm like, oh man, we just lost 20 minutes of our vacation waiting for our suitcase. Most of the time, we're waiting for like our phones to turn back on and get signal in a new country.
Yeah.
And like figuring out where we need to go to either like get public transport or an Uber or something. Yeah. There's stuff logistically you need to do when you land at an airport anyway.
And we're doing that while we wait for our bags.
When you're traveling to a new place in particular, you're never hitting the ground and running.
No.
Right? 20 minutes is never going to kill you. And like half the time while we're waiting, like we'll split, like one person will go to the bathroom and then the other person will. And by the time we've done that, the bags are almost there anyway. Like there's really not much time here that's being wasted. And that's in particular too, if you have to go, because most of the time if you're internationally traveling, you're going to go through like passport control and all that stuff anyway, so the bags might even like almost beat you in most cases.
Yeah.
And I think this is separate, but it's talking about like the bags arriving thing. Is it just reminded me now with stuff like AirTags, the stress of like the bag not showing up on that carousel
is a lot less
than it used to be, right? That used to always be the thing of you read it there and you're like, did it make it? Did it not leave?
It's like, I know it is physically in this country.
Because now we can just like take your phone out. Sometimes that in itself can be stressful too because it hasn't quite updated yet or whatever. Yeah. But no, seeing that message that it's like, oh, your bags are like near you, I think removes a lot of that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So, all this to say, checked bags for life.
Yeah, let's remove the stigma of being a checked bag traveler. I think it's too common now to shame us checked bag travelers. Let's like just embrace it.
It feels like if you're a checked bag person, you're like a rookie or not a real traveler. Yeah. I don't even know what that means, but like...
Yeah, I think I said this at the beginning, like some people it's like a badge of honor. They think they're better because they were able to achieve this feat.
Well, I'm better because I have dry shoes. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I think there's a weird stigma against it, or a weird like lifting up the world of carry-on only. And I
Yeah.
think it's just impractical for most people. And just, if you are a carry-on only person, maybe just try on your next like long trip, just try taking a checked bag next time and just see what you think.
Yeah.
Right?
See how much you enjoy those extra 7 t-shirts.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, all those extra undies, like, man, it's just living luxuriously, right? With all that extra clothes.
The way you just said undies was really funny.
Undies, yeah. Yeah, is there any other parts of this? I feel like we talk about this a lot. There's probably something we haven't quite touched on, but I think like
it's something we talk about.
We talk about it a lot, and like when we notice like people, or like in particular, like this is talking about all the people that play by the rules, but I think in particular, if you're a person that's carry-on only and you're one of those people that has almost a full size like suitcase, like, and pushing those boundaries, I'm like, it's not cool to do.
It's
that.
like the carry-on suitcase that's like the cloth one that's got all the extenders unzipped.
Yeah.
There's like 4 of them, and now the suitcase is this thing.
I think that's actually a good bonus tip here before we finish up. Definitely, we're also definitely on the hard, like a high quality hard shell suitcase.
Yeah.
I think early on we've been travelers where we've had really cheap suitcases before and they've braked and like they're broken and they're whatever. But I've also had like the soft shell ones. They tear and rip or get
You've
wet.
backpacked.
I've had a big backpack before.
Yeah.
So I've done all the different types, and I would definitely say if you have the means to, and like if you're traveling internationally, you can probably splurge a little bit on this. I think the biggest investment you should make is to buy a real good, high quality checked bag.
Yeah.
We bought some like Samsonite ones that were not even that expensive. They were on Amazon like on sale or something, and they have lasted
4 years now?
Yeah, like
Something
maybe
like
more than that.
And we beat the crap out of them.
Yeah, they are not like, we do not treat them gently. And everything has been fine in them, and they've stood up to
nothing's ever broken. Nothing's...
Yeah. So I definitely say invest in just like a decent suitcase. Don't be one of these people that invests too much and buys like a Louis Vuitton checked bag.
Questions about
That's
that.
the oddest thing I've ever seen, to be fair.
Is it the odder than the Louis Vuitton soccer ball bag?
The soccer ball bag? See our Copenhagen series where we did talk about this particular person that had a Louis Vuitton purse bag thing that was in the shape of a soccer ball.
Digress.
But anyway, also just as weird is spending thousands of dollars on Louis Vuitton soft luggage that is just bound to be destroyed at the first chance. Just buy Samsonite or whatever, just generic but decent quality hard shell luggage.
It will last you.
It will last you
over all the cobblestones in Europe.
Mm-hmm. And then you do this checked in life, and you can just get your backpack and run through airports and be stress-free, right?
Minus the running through airports, but
that's stressful, but you don't have to drag a suitcase with you.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
You just drag your spouse or partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I think that wraps up episode 4.
Yep.
Another fun one. I know we were definitely probably controversial. Please just
revels in it.
Just let rip in the comments. Tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why you're right about carry on only.
And Grant will tell you why you're still wrong.
Generally speaking, we like to have nice comments, but just let her rip in these ones if you want to. No. If you want to tell us how wrong we are, I'm happy to debate this. I enjoy standing up for us fellow checked baggage travelers, right? Anyway, thank you so much for watching and listening. Make sure you're subscribed to hear more of these podcasts every Tuesday, but also to see our travel vlogs every Friday. Yep. And we're almost done with our Norway series, but there's a few more videos coming for that series. Yep. But anyway, we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye. Bye.